All right. Well, it's 9:31 by my clock, and we've got enough people here that I have to scroll the participants window, so that's good. So we'll go ahead and get this started. We'll call this meeting to order. First thing, as always, we'll do a quick pledge once I have fun. Hey, Marsha. Once we find my backgrounds, there we go. All right. Please join me in a quick pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United
United
States
States
of
of
America
America,
and to the
and to the
republic
republic for
for
which
which it
it
stands,
stands,
one nation,
one nation,
under
under
God,
God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
with
with
liberty
liberty
and justice for
and
all.
justice for all.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for coming here today and being ready to start this big fight. We got a lot going on. We're ready to go, though. We've got everything in place and ready to well, ready to do some fighting and get this going. Also, a new Star Wars game came out yesterday, and it's awesome. And been playing that online. Yeah. So, but we do have some politics to talk about. Fortunately, not a ton of politics. Kind of like the committee meeting the other night. A lot of stuff is already set in motion. The big thing we've got to do today is to finish our committee caucuses. A problem right now because nominations from the floor would be light and probably would allow us to still do it very, very quickly with a minimum of actual competitive elections. So first, though, we'll do the reports like always. The minutes were passed out and distributed in the last email. If there are, I didn't receive any corrections to those. Did anybody have any corrections to those to bring up now? Not seeing a whole lot of hands. Kind of the same as last week, and probably what we'll do, with this going forward until we can meet in person. If you see anything, just let me know. I'm going to try to, set up a system where we can look at these a little bit earlier in advance, or more recently after the meeting, so we can make sure we get it all right. But yeah, it's just been a little chaotic the last week. Don't know exactly why. So that's that. The next item would be the treasurer's report. Hey, cool. Bonnie, go ahead and give us your treasurer's report, please.
Okay, balance brought forward $2,883.30. We had both bank and e-commerce deposits totaling $510. Our withdrawals were $250 as a honorarium to Dr. Ritchie in appreciation for him trying to hang with us. $14.99 for our Zoom, $50 to Noonan Times Herald for the legal announcements for today's activity, and $2.14 administration fees for our e-commerce account. So total expenditures of $317.13. Our balance on hand is $3,076.17.
All right, 3,017 ending. Does anybody have any questions for the treasurer at this time? Going once, going twice. Cool. This is going to give us enough cash on hand for next year to start the year off, to have enough resiliency to go the year without a whole lot of trouble, and still be able to participate in those 2021 local council mayoral elections. So that's key. Obviously, the fundraising will continue throughout the year. Hopefully, we can start getting some more things going. Hopefully, we have a better president and we can get a little bit more positive environment and an economic recovery and everything else we need for that. But that's what we're looking at. We've got, like we said last meeting, we've got money allocated for get out the vote efforts. Those are ongoing. Cindy's here. That's pretty much what we're going to be talking about after we do the committee elections, is just all the different things that are going on with that, and a little bit on the event wrap-ups from the other night. This time, like I said, are there any other further issues, questions, comments for the treasurer in her report? Not seeing any motions, not seeing any movement. 1, 2, 3. Cool. Moving on. So our committee heads, we've got the get out the vote committee head here, but we're going to do that in more the general time after we do the important business of the meeting, and that is our committee elections. So as of right now, Let me pull up, that's the wrong screen. There it is. As of right now, our committee elections are, or our nominees, I'm going to zoom this in just a second here, are right there. We have, whiteboard screen, advanced. There we go, portion of screen. That's what I'm looking for. Share, and we are going to zoom it in there. All right, we should be seeing a little bit more zoomed in now. So that is our current slate of people who have contacted me and said they want to run for either for re-election to the committee or who have wanted to run in as a new position for the committee. Dr. Matt Bodie and Cindy Persley are our two new members. Everybody else is already currently serving on the committee. As a reminder, we allocate spots. We have 6 per county commissioner district. 3 are up every single year. If we have extra vacancies, those are filled by the committee or can be filled by the committee afterwards. Right now, we have 2 candidates for 3 vacancies in the districts. So we have no real competitive elections. At this time, though, I would like to open the floor up to nominations from the floor. Anybody, any of the 4 people here who are not already on the committee would like to join the committee. And like I said, we meet the Monday before regular general meetings. And this is the group that makes the business decisions of the party, the group that says, hey, we're going to spend this much money on this and advocate for this or endorse this candidate, which isn't that difficult because we can only endorse Democratic nominees. But yeah, still, all that stuff. At this time, if there are nominations from the floor, you can speak up. If there is not, the chair will entertain a motion to close nominations.
So moved.
Mr. Thompson moves
Dennis.
to close nominations. Is there a second to close nominations? Ms. Gay has seconded the closing of nominations. All those in favor of closing nominations signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed signify by saying nay. All right, thank you. Nominations are closed. As we have these, per the recommendation of Mr. Thompson, we are going to go right back to this here. There we go. Per the recommendation of Mr. Thompson, do we have anyone from District 1 here right now? Not seeing anyone raising their hands as being from District 1. So the chair will entertain a motion to close the District 1 or to accept the District 1 nomination of Randy Todd. So we'll, yeah, thank you.
Moved.
Dennis moves. Can we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Bonnie. So that's not all in favor of well, there's no one who can actually vote on this because there's nobody in District 1. So the chair will deem them closed or accepted because we don't have a District 1 member present. District 2, we have Dennis Thompson. If there is anybody, Dennis, you're the only person who can move to accept this slate since you're the only District 2 person present, I think.
I so moved Dennis Thompson and
Yeah.
Morris Carroll be named as District 2 representatives.
You are good. Do we have a second for that, please? Thank you, Elsa. Scroll through the list here. So we've got that. Is there anybody else from District 2 here besides Dennis? Not seeing anybody raise their hands. Dennis, since you moved and seconded, the chair is going to deem you as voting in the affirmative, and you are the only vote. So congratulations on your re-election and the election of the slate to the caucus there. District 3, do we have anyone from District 3 here right now? All right, I'm not anybody from District 3. Not seeing any hands raised. All right, so the yeah, so kind of the same basic problem there. The chair will entertain a motion to accept the District 3 slate as presented there. I see a movement in a second from Bonnie, and I think that was Cynthia. So we'll take that. There's nobody who can vote on this, so the chair will deem it as accepted in this case. District 4, Heather. Yay, we have people from District 4. Heather, would you be so kind as to move that we accept the District 4 set?
sorry, had to unmute. I'm so moved.
Thank you.
I second the motion.
Thank you, Cynthia. We got Heather and Cynthia seconding the motion there. District 4, we have Heather. Who else is in District 4? I know this is where we start getting into more of everybody. So we got Cynthia in District 4 and Claudia. Were you?
I think Cynthia, obviously Norman.
Okay. Is there anybody else from District 4 for sure?
I don't think so.
No. Okay. Well, then Cynthia and Heather, since it's you two.
Isn't Marcia from District 4?
Not sure. We
Isn't Marcia in District 4?
can assume so.
Claudia's in District 4. They can vote even though they're not running.
They can vote. All right.
Yes,
So
we're District 4.
District 4 participants, if you would like to accept that slate of members for the committee, please signify by raising your hand or saying aye.
Aye.
All right. Any opposed, signify by saying no. In the judgment of the chair, the ayes have it. Congratulations, Ms. Gay and Mr. Lundeen, on your reelection to the committee. And District 5, which is a lot of the rest of us, can I have someone from District 5 move to accept this slate as presented?
So moved.
Thank you, Bonnie.
So moved by Elsa.
I got a second from Elsa. All right, District 5, we've got me, Cindy, Elsa, Bonnie, and anybody else in there that's in the middle of
Cindy.
Yeah. Yeah. So all those in favor of electing this slate of Cindy Person and Elsa Carey into the committee signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed signify by saying nay. The judgment of the chair, the ayes have it. Thank you all so much. Congratulations to our new committee members and our re-elected committee members. Elsa, you've got your hand up. What kind of infraction have I committed?
You haven't committed any infraction, Chuck. I just wanted to comment. I had a slight problem getting in, which might account for our attendance. So not a problem. We've done what we had to do.
Yeah, we're the chair has been reasonably understanding on attendances.
Yeah.
If you're showing up at any point, that's generally considered good enough. You have taken action.
Yeah, I don't think it's a lack of interest. As I say, I had a technical difficulty today. I haven't had it in the past. Thank you.
Yeah.
I have a question, Chuck.
Of course.
You hear me? I'm not sure. Did we certify all of the districts, or I just want to make sure that we that the committee accepts the votes of the committee certifies the votes of the caucuses.
Yeah, we'll talk about that afterwards because of the technicalities on not having members from some of the.
Well, I just want to make sure that somewhere in our minutes that we do certify the.
Okay. Yeah, I will make sure to put that in there, and we'll be sure to do that. It'll be fun because technically the new committee members will be part of that certification process unless we decertify them. One of those things. Anyway, so that's the main business. A couple wrap-up things. Thursday night, we had a candidate event in lieu of the Atkinson Arnold dinner. Thank you to our sponsors that are here in attendance and helped us put this on. It went really well. We had Reverend Warnock in the flesh there. We had Ed Tarver there. We had Matt Lieberman in the flesh there. We had Bob Trammell as an update. We got to hear from all of our State House candidates, both our county commission candidates. It was really good, and we finished by 9 o'clock. Started at 7, finished at 9. So everything went on time. It was really good. The candidates enjoyed it. I got some good feedback from Bob, from the Warnock campaign, from the Tarver campaign, from the Almanord campaign. So thank you everybody that attended. Right now, I am trying to upload that so we can all watch it. It's at 21% and has been there like all night, which is, which is bizarre because usually our house has usually just screaming internet with everybody downloading multiple things at once and me playing Star Wars Online and Jenny watching 5 Great British Baking Show episodes and the kids watching Netflix, and there's no hiccups, so I don't know what's going on. Elsa, you had a hand up earlier.
Yeah, I was wondering if that's going to go on website or Facebook or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As soon as I can get it up, and if I don't see if the full thing doesn't make any more progress soon, I am going to start just uploading the smaller bits, at least the Senate special, and putting those up so everybody can see that.
Thank
There's a watching the candidates, you really get a good feel for them and a noticeable difference in the styles and personalities of all three candidates. Really had a chance to come out and shine, which is good. That's why we do these things, so that we can vote. And so that's that. Any other questions on the Atkinson Arnold candidate event that we had to do instead of the usual rubber chicken fundraising dinner? No, again, thank you.
I like that
so
rubber
much.
chicken fundraising dinner.
It's a good rubber chicken. I mean,
Okay, all right. I do have a bit of a question. Bonnie, just a clarify. Treasurer's report include funds from that event?
Yes.
yes, they weren't.
Yes, we had $290 through e-commerce, and most of those were designated for the AA dinner, and then the $220 regular deposits were from Dennis Thompson, Tom Finnegan, and myself towards that dinner. So basically, we raised $510.
Yeah, and some of those late
For the dinner, in lieu of. Yeah. Now we have gotten some more. I always cut off the monthly report on the day of the committee meeting, so that there's continuity between the committee meeting amount and the general meeting amount. There have been deposited e-commerce deposits made this week, so next month's total should reflect that. Maybe Chuck, help me. What was it? A couple of $100 at most?
Yeah.
A couple of $100 that we got between Monday and today.
Yeah, a couple hundred more, and there is also a little bit of lag.
So so under $1,000 raised, and I guess under the circumstances, that's fairly decent. But we will keep accepting donations throughout. We still have a month to go. Yes, circumstances yesterday kind of was a true October surprise, but we still have races to win, and we have a month of spending that we can use towards that.
Yep, and for the benefit of people who haven't used ActBlue before too, there is some lag time. The way that Georgia is set up, I think they call it a merchant account. The basic gist is we have to create a middleman. And so instead of ActBlue being able to take those funds and immediately just ACH deposit them into our bank account like your payroll direct deposit, they have to cut us a physical check, mail the check, and then we have to deposit that check too. So there's a little bit of lag between when you click on, hey, cool, give the party $20, and when the party actually gets that $20 minus 2.3% for to keep ActBlue afloat, or whatever that ends up being. But again, thank you.
Let me also say, Chuck alluded to this. Of the $3,076 that we have on hand, $1,800 has been earmarked for get out the vote expenses. So that means if that's all that we spend, then we will, and if we have no more money coming in, we'll be starting the new year out with basically $1,200, which is within as your treasurer, within my comfort zone. Below that, I get antsy.
We're not going to make Bonnie answers. It's got enough on her plate. But again, it's a very special thanks to Heather and Cynthia for trying to organize a physical event this year and working on that handover. Cynthia for doing it all the previous years. And like I said, to Heather and Cynthia and Cindy and Claudia for helping to fund this thing and get candidates in and make this happen. Like I said, it worked. I was incredibly happy about that. You know, quite frankly, a little surprised that we got Reverend Warnock, but we got him, and that's great. And there we go. So that was that. Really, the
You
rest
did a
of
great job too, Chuck. I just wanted to
Thanks.
give you some kudos.
I've got a picture of our setup with I've got a Klieg light, me in jeans and a suit coat, and, you know, laptop on one table, the camera on another table. Just yeah, there were some Rubio-esque moments during there of me ducking in and out of the way. But don't worry, we edited those out in post, so it's a lot smoother transition when that comes up. And some of the technical issues we had with videos are also a little bit smoothed over and fixed.
Chuck, a technical question.
Uh-huh.
What is the format when it's recorded? What are you uploading it to? Are you trying to upload it to YouTube?
Yeah,
Or-
I'm trying.
Yeah, so
It's-
YouTube may be actually very busy, I think.
Yes, and we've had some issues with Google and YouTube just the last couple days here too. So they're maybe just getting swamped with everything. But whatever, we'll move the laptop closer to the router, plug it in hard, see what happens. You know, we'll figure it out one way or another and make it work, and get it up by the end of the weekend. So anyway, there's that. All right, on to the crux of it is voting and meeting and all of that. In case you missed it in the last meeting, or excuse me, in the newsletters, this is the last general meeting for the year. The one for November is kind of combined into a watch party / committee meeting / general meeting / Thunderdome, you know, for election night. That's going to be done through Zoom, through this link, excuse me, through the same link we used today for a Zoom chat room. If you know people who are engaging in adequate social distancing, we cannot stop you from going over to their places and social distancing yourselves and sharing food and fellowship, but we cannot really sponsor that right now, especially in light of recent events and everybody getting sick. It would be somewhat irresponsible. So that's what's going on for the rest of the year. For the debates, I'm also going to be opening up this room in case you want to come in and just have a chat and a watch and just figure out what is going on with everything. The vice presidential debate is probably going to happen. I would frankly be surprised if we have any more presidential debates, given that the president is currently in Walter Reed and all that chaos going on. But if we do have future presidential debates, the commission has promised they will be more orderly, most likely with the use of a mute button, which would benefit everyone watching those things. So there's that. If you missed it, you could find it streaming, or you could just go to the zoo and have two monkeys yell at each other, and you'll get a pretty close approximation of what it was like watching that thing live. If you want added effect, just imagine like Jerry Springer sitting between the two monkeys and watching it and encouraging it.
I want a shock collar myself.
Yeah.
I want to hit the button.
Yeah, there's a variety of methods, some of which are slightly more humane than others. I think the mute button is probably a good starting point for that. But that's where we're going at with the meetings for the rest of the year. The committee, of course, will have a quick, more or less pro forma to certify the results of this election before the watch party kicks off officially, and then in December we'll have our committee elections where we'll elect officers for chair, first, second vice chair, secretary, and treasurer, and we will actually elect a secretary because we have to. So the good news is you won't have to put up with me juggling all of that anymore. We'll have extra people to help share the load and make this work better. That's kind of the meeting update for get out the vote stuff. Cindy's here. We've been getting a lot of updates in the past like 36 hours. I got a call from Jimmy Glenn yesterday, our 3rd district vice chair. He told me that the congressional district chairs are each being allocated 1,000-yard signs, which is a lot and difficult to distribute sometimes. So he's got 1,000 signs to go around. I'm getting about half of them delivered to my house because we have space. He doesn't have nearly as much space in his apartment for all of those. So we will be having Biden yard signs in short order. As I promise you, as soon as they are at my house, I'm going to be asking people to come by and pick them up and distribute them. We also have Biden yard signs. We got some several hundred, I think, donated the other day that we've got at another neighbor's house to distribute. We have a yard sign request form that's been sent out. And I'm going to probably go pick those up and just, come by our house, drive through the gravel driveway. We'll drop them off in your car as long as you promise to plant them somewhere and distribute them to friends and enemies and street signs that need them and everywhere else. So we're getting those yard signs. We may be getting some Ossoff yard signs. I think the Almanord campaign has yard signs. I'm not sure what their distribution plan for those are. And we've got a handful of Warnock signs as well to distribute. So when you come by for a Biden yard sign, if we have anything else, it will be just first come, first serve. Take them and put them out. I'm not aware of any yard signs for Mr. Lieberman or Mr. Tarver going on. And then our House candidates, Bob Trammell has yard signs. Reach out to his campaign directly for those. And I'm not sure on Jill or Fred Rovner if they've got a yard sign campaign going or not. For everybody who's disappointed that we don't have a ton of yard signs, from experience, they are expensive and the science on them is not very good. So yard signs are usually one of the lower priorities on get out the vote efforts and what you're going to do. A lot of times it's used more almost as a reward. And of course the problem is everybody wants a yard sign. So it's one of those expenses that you kind of, we got to figure out how to work, and hopefully going forward we can use the lessons from this campaign and figure out a way to maybe do local printing and distribution instead of relying on the campaigns like we have in the past, because I think that may help alleviate some of the pressure and make it a little bit better for us. Other stuff, the DPG until yesterday, and I'm not sure how this is going to affect everything, was planning on starting in-person canvassing and some in-person lit drops and literature drops and stuff like that. I got a note from Jamie Roberts that there are Atlanta literature drops going on right now, and then some more in Augusta and Cobb County. The Mobilize page for the Georgia Democratic Party, mobilize.us/Georgia Democrats, should have more stuff on that. And once if we know of any DPG sponsored local lit drops, we'll of course let everybody know. For those of you who've never done this, a literature drop is basically canvassing, but you pretend that nobody's home. So you have either door hangers or brochures or flyers or whatever have you, and you go by with at most aggressively with painter's tape on a door hanger, and you either you stick it in the door crack or in the door handle. The main rule is you just don't touch mailboxes, and you distribute the literature wherever you can and get them out. It's relatively quick. It's as close to in-person as we can probably get this cycle, but those are going to be going on. Cindy, you've been I know you've been printing out. We've got like 1,000 brochures coming, or a whole bunch of brochures.
Yeah, we've got flyers coming. I've got to follow up with Al on that. They're basically informational about early voting, absentee voting, and the slate of candidates. So we'll have those to drop. Just to add to what you said about the lit drops that the DPG is doing, they're actually checking about doing canvassing with proper PPE as well. What's happening this weekend is a kind of a test run, from what I was told by Jamie. So, I have mixed emotions about that. But it'd be fun to talk to people if we can do it safely. But with the news of everything this weekend, I'm not sure how well that will go down.
Right. Yeah. That's.
But yeah, and also looking into postcards too. So I've got to follow up with Al on that. He was looking to, he hadn't gotten back to me when I sent him but that would be something smaller with just early voting information and a slate of candidates. Something trying to make it as small as I can, so we can use that budget and get those out in the mail to targeted groups.
Yeah. So we've got those opportunities. If you have any good ideas for get out the vote type videos, the how to vote video was put together in a weekend, and I've gotten better at making those things. So like the updated video for the Atkinson Arnold has nice little lower thirds on everybody, so you can say who they are and what race they're running for, briefly. So excuse me. So we're getting better at that. A 30-second video, if we're going to do advertising on, internet advertising via YouTube or through Google's metrics, which we can gain access to through GoDaddy or, Facebook or Twitter or whatever, a 30-second ad clip is kind of the ideal format for doing stuff like that, because it gets it out there, gives people something to look at and something to kind of, catch their attention and also spread the message.
Chuck, I have a suggestion, and it would be something that would have to, progress throughout. But when Claudia and Alton cast their ballot, they had a pretty great picture of casting their ballots. And it's my intention to mask up and vote in person on the first day of early voting. And I can go ahead and get a photograph of that. But if people can forward their photographs to you, perhaps you can cut them together in a montage that has music attached, or just a fast cut, or kind of maybe even a geeky 1965 pictures of my vacation of people, more than just posting on Facebook your sticker, but it comes from us.
Yeah, that's a great idea. So yeah, when you vote or cast your ballot, whether that's however you do it, take a picture. Don't take pictures inside the voting booth. You can't do that. But a picture of you dropping off your ballot in the mail or in the drop box, or at the early voting location with a smile and a mask, or holding up the I voted stickers, but with you in it, ideally. Yeah, that's a great idea for what we could do. And I could start.
I forgot to take a picture.
Yeah, I could set up the templates for that and start dropping those together. That would be pretty quick, easy to go. So yeah, Heather, I'm not sure we'll be able to slice it together and advertise on election day, but just don't take pictures inside the ballot box. Take pictures and post them everywhere, but maybe a little late for the video for that. Excuse me. Oh God, I had something else and it fell off of my tongue. So we've got that. Oh, that's what it was. So this election will continue to be litigated in the courts forever. The latest switch on that, if you are planning on voting by mail, the ballot now has to be received by Election Day again. Previously, a federal judge had ruled that it had to be postmarked and could be received as late as Friday. That ruling has been changed by the appeals court, and it now has to be in the hands of the registrar's office by 7 p.m. on Friday. Our previous guidance was cast your ballot by October 20th if you're using the mail service. That is still valid because that gives it 2 weeks to go through. That's still cutting it close. The preferred method, and the way that we're telling everybody to do it, and the way you should tell all your friends to do it, is take that nice yellow envelope with your very precious ballot in it, and then go walk up to the ballot drop box next to the Board of Elections, drop it in that secure box. They're going to start emptying it when early voting starts, which is coming up soon, and then they're going to empty it every single day once early voting begins. So it's safe, it's secure, it's always under surveillance. It's not going to be a problem. Use that ballot drop box. Speaking of early
Actually,
voting,
I think they are emptying it every day. My ballot got accepted already.
okay, so they're emptying it every day now, so that's good.
Yeah.
So even better, there's even less risk. So bring your ballots in, keep dropping them off, and keep doing that. Voter registration deadline is on Monday. Check your registration, make sure it's up to date if you haven't already requested a ballot. If you have friends that you're not sure if they're registered, ask them if they have a driver's license. So if you met them for coffee somewhere and they drove, then they could register online at the coffee shop from their phone and check it from there. The Secretary of State has an app on all phones that's free, or you can use the sos.ga.gov site to go to the My Voter page and get from there. Dennis, what you got?
Yeah, I may have missed it. My hearing's not so good. Is there a way? I have already put my absentee ballot in the drop box. Is there a site that I can go to see that my ballot has been received or has been processed? Is there an email site that you can go to for the county to see if it's been?
There are multiple sites, and I'm going to help you with that right now. Give me just a second here to set up the share screen again. So there are 2 ways to do that. The first is through the Georgia My Voter page, and this is also on the voter video that we've got. I'm gonna, if I update the voiceover for the new dates for returning your ballot. I'll keep the link on the Coweta County webpage. You know, it's going to show the right video, but basically you would log in, and then once you've logged into the My Voter page, the www.mvp.sos.ga.gov. Let's write that.
Oh, wait a minute, MVP what?
There we go.
www.mvp.
Yeah. So this is the that's your My Voter page right here.
Okay.
So yeah.
Give me. I'm about blind and along with everything else.
Yeah, you're good, Dennis.
SOSGA.gov.
Trying to let's make it a little bigger. There we go. All right.
MVP SOS. MVP SOS.gov.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. Thank you.
Annotation. So from there, and if anybody else is trying to figure it out, where you're going to go from here is right here where it says click for your absentee ballots. Look at that, we can draw arrows and stuff. So this part down here, click for absentee ballot status, is what's going to let you
Okay.
let you click it, and then if you click on it, let's move that over here. If you click on it, so you'll see up here it's got your election, when they received your absentee request, when they mailed out or gave you your absentee ballot, this received and status and reason is when the voter registrar's office has received your ballot. So when they receive it, they'll put the date there. When they accept it, it will say accepted right here. And if it's rejected, they'll put a reason under here. And Jane wants your vote to count. Okay, no one at the office down there wants your vote to not count. So don't be afraid. We're not in some crazy area with a commission that doesn't want to count votes. We have good people. They want your vote to count. They want to help you. If you make mistakes, they're not going to just trash it and let it go. They're going to actually help you try to fix it because they want you to vote. So we're very fortunate in that. So do double check it, do follow up. And again, all of that information is on our video. I split it up too on YouTube. So we've got a how to register and request, how to actually fill out your ballot, and then how to submit it and track it as 3 different 2-minute videos. And if you haven't watched it, there's fun GIFs like taking a Sharpie out of someone's hand as they try to, out of my kid's hand as they try to fill in a circle for Donald Trump. So, Elsa, what you got?
Yeah, I probably misunderstood this, Chuck. You said the ballot must be received by Election Day, 7 p.m. I thought you said Friday. That would be Tuesday, right?
Well, yes, it used to be Friday after election. They used to have it just postmarked by Election Day, and then it could come in as late as Friday. But yesterday, a new ruling pushed that all back to has to be received by Election Day on Tuesday.
Thank you.
Yeah. So there's that. With regards to ballot monitoring and poll watching and poll working and ballot verification and all that, I talked to Jane about this the other day. She says that she has more than enough volunteers for poll workers and poll watchers, which is good. For ballot verification, right now Cynthia is our designated lucky person who gets to do that per Jane. So Cynthia, if that's wrong, please let us know when you let Jane know. Okay, good. And when that starts up, right now the plan is for them to, Jane wants to start opening ballots and counting them and tabulating them as early as she legally can. And so hopefully what this does is minimize the workload so we don't have 6 12-hour days of ballot verification with 400 man hours going into it. Hopefully it's an hour or so a day, which is infinitely more manageable when it's spread out over a period of 3 weeks. And there are some other tweaks that have been made, so hopefully this isn't as bad. Right now, the setup they're doing doesn't really allow, or from Jane at least, doesn't really allow for a whole lot of extra volunteers. I appreciate everybody that has sent out their names and sent them to me as backups. Send them to Cynthia as well, so that if something goes wrong, she can call people and bring them in. And then if you do that, Cynthia, I know the DPG, I sent them your name and email for some distributed training they're doing. They're going to start doing that training the day before we can legally open ballots. So if other people have reached out to you, like your lovely grandchild there, just go ahead and forward the training onto them too, and I will if I get it, so that if you do want to jump in, you kind of know what's going on. I'm going to probably drop in and just observe the first day and just, see the process so that I learn how it works. But based on who we've got going there and who we've got running the show, I don't really anticipate a whole lot of problems. It's just probably going to be time consuming. But again, the best thing we can do to help minimize the workload for Cynthia is to encourage your friends to watch our how to fill out the ballot video, because it shows in painstaking detail not just how to fill in the circles and make it work and make everything look right and what mistakes to avoid, but it also shows who to vote for on the races where we can tell you who to vote for. So make sure we do that, and we can make this process go smoothly, and hopefully we can have enough results tabulated on election night that on election night we could say Georgia is giving all of its electoral votes to Joseph Biden and Kamala Harris, and then there's nothing that Mr. Biglyhands can do, in Pennsylvania or anywhere else to stop his leaving office in January of 21.
Here, here.
Yeah. So that's that.
If I can interrupt just
Absolutely.
a second. I believe one of the things that Jane is going to do is limit the number of people who can come in and observe. After the bad behavior that was experienced last time, she realizes that that's a safety issue. One of the things that I have recommended, and I'm going to put in writing to her, is that perhaps they put cameras in the 2 rooms on widescreen and stream it out to monitors in the lobby, so that those of us that are fearful that people may want to be more demonstrative than last time are protected a little bit.
Good idea.
Yeah, so there are a lot of options to do. One last thing to think about as we go into in-person early voting, and Cynthia, this is something we can work on, a couple days before, really, is how we want to do any line warming efforts. And that may be something as simple as just having a basket of snacks and, every now and then coming by with masks on and filling it so that people can take it, bottles of water. Hopefully it's not raining, so we're not out there with umbrellas. But we do still anticipate long lines. And if we have a basket of snacks out there at, the 65 feet with, hey, courtesy of the Coweta County Democratic Party, it not only gives good advertising, but it also makes sure that people, collapsing through either needing water or sugar loaves or whatever else, it keeps them in line so that they can vote. That's going to be one of the biggest things. If we can't get everybody to early vote, which we won't be able to, we need them at least to be able to stay in line and vote on election day. So if that's something you're interested in helping with, either through making the SAMS runs or through other stuff, that would be really helpful. And as the closer we get to election day, the less direct I'm going to be able to get involved, because I've got my Delta training starting up in the middle of this month, which is great, but it also means that I disappear into Atlanta into a box for 8 hours a day with no windows and no cell reception. So, the good news is we've got things under control. We've got a fantastic get out the vote chair in Cindy personally, who has taken the initiative and charged with it. And I really can't say enough of that, because that, oh gosh, you have no idea how much better that makes things. Having someone who's willing to just take charge and do it. And that's what we need. For those of you who aren't on the committee, that doesn't matter. If you have good ideas, If you have an idea that you want to do, that you want to take charge of, whether it's big, small, whatever, if you can present it to us, and especially if it's something that doesn't take a lot of money for us to give to you to actually do it, those are easy ideas to approve. If you're like, hey, I can do this, I can compile, this video, or I can make this song, or I can do whatever, make these signs, whatever the case is, if it's something that we are attaching the party name to, the only thing it takes is a quick majority vote from the committee to say, yeah, this is a good idea, go for it, and go from there. You're whacking your fingers. Yeah, but that's what gets this going. That's what gives us the power multiplication we need, is people who can just take the ball and run. And if we can do that, if we can distribute the load a little bit, so that it's not just Cynthia having to carry everything and take charge of everything, we can do a lot more. That's how we're going to grow the party. And like I said, next, I keep harping on it, in 21, we can win some mayoral elections. We can win some city council elections. This is going to be that opportunity to really take charge, practice those ideas on a smaller scale, implement them, see if they work. And then once we've got those templates down, or those ideas down, then we can take it and grow it for the next set. And that's everything. If you can grow it out and make it bigger, then we can compete. We're not going to, quite frankly, we're not going to be able to win every race we want to win, because the districts are just drawn that way a lot of times. But we're going to be able to compete and make it a pain in the butt, and make the incumbent GOP politicians have to keep cycling through and decide, you know what, this is too much effort. And if we can do that, that's when we get the opportunities to run against crazies that even members of the GOP go, that's a little too far. I'm going to go ahead and get this Democrat in and then just vote him out in 2 years. And it's, it's the way the districts work, but it's the opportunities we get. And even with those small 2-year windows, if you have a majority in a 2-year window, you can get a lot done in those 2 years. We just got to go out and actually do it. All right, Cindy, if I have missed any get out the vote stuff, let me know. I'm looking through my emails just to make sure I've got everything.
The only thing I could add is I posting information as far as phone banks and so forth. If anybody can participate in phone banks, the latest link, which I'll put up again today, basically goes through October. So if you are interested in phone banking or text banking, let me know. I also am very happy to help with the technology, because I know sometimes it can be a little intimidating. I've had classes on my deck with friends, getting them on the various text bank technology platforms. So
yeah,
whatever I got to do to get a vote, I will almost do it.
Yeah. And for those of you who haven't seen it before, we'll share this screen again. So this is the Mobilize page that Cindy is talking about. Let's see here. Spread that out. So there we go. So mobilize.us/ Georgia Democrats. And so Mobilize is the platform that we're using for everything. It's going to let us actually, lets you do virtual phone banks. There's not a good place to put that, is there? Lets you do virtual phone banks, lets you organize other events. You can see we've got the Peach Jam going on, Friday dialing. These will occur both focused on Coweta and surrounding counties, as well as Georgia statewide. If you see stuff sponsored by the Legislative Victory Fund, for example, they're calling people in vulnerable seats and seats that we're trying to win to make those work. They just started using a program called Hub Dialer, which makes it a little bit easier to actually get to people. You're going to talk to people instead of just getting a lot of hang-ups and no answers and voicemails and stuff like that. Hub Dialer keeps you on until you actually connect to a physical person, and then you can talk to them and try to get their vote. So these efforts are going to keep going, and as we get closer in, they're probably going to get a little bit more critical, because now you're talking to people that may not be the regular voters, may not be the super enthusiastic voters, but we still need them in and to get them going. So that's that. All right. Cindy and Cynthia just both bailed out. But that's what we've got. We're in the final push. You know, we've put in what we can. We've authorized what we can. We've got great leaders like Cindy running with it and making things happen. If you need her email, you can ask her when she comes back. I'll leave this chat window open at least for a while, or you can email me and I'll make sure to send it to you. We'll have, like I said, we'll have yard signs as soon as we get them. I will want them out of my house. So come and get them and spread them and plant them everywhere you can. And yeah, and even if you're in one of those subdivisions where you can't do yard signs, put them in your window inside your house. Put them, hang them near your door where your delivery man can come get them. And when the Amazon delivery person or the UPS guy comes by and you're like, hey, cool, thanks for, whatever thing that you just ordered, cool. Hey, would you like a Biden-Harris yard sign? And go ahead and just see, because that's, you're laughing, Cynthia, but come on, that's how we're going to distribute all these yard signs that are going to be in my house. Because it's hard.
Actually, what I'm doing while you're talking is texting all my friends on Messenger right now and saying, third congressional district has yard signs, let me know. So
yeah. And we will need them. From experience, I think we ordered like 500 yard signs to distribute around, and it's not as easy as it seems. Presidential election should be a little easier, but those things are bulky. They take up a lot of room. And I don't want them taking up my dining room for too long. All right, Elsa, what you got?
Yeah, what's the latest on putting them on like Shenandoah Boulevard or not private property? I know they get stolen or they get collected by the county, but
both.
anywhere.
Yeah. I'm not 100% sure what the rules are because it varies for each jurisdiction. But the good news is these don't say paid for by the committee to elect Chuck Enderlin. They should say paid for by elect Joe Biden or whatever Joe Biden's PAC is. So we have plausible deniability. So you can take them and plant them, and they're going to call Joe's campaign manager instead of calling, me or Jen or Jimmy about what to do with those signs. And that should be your deflection on any of it too. If you get called about any of it, just, I don't know, talk to the campaign, plop, and leave. But yeah, if your subdivision doesn't allow them, don't put them out there. But otherwise, especially if you see a Trump sign near a median or something like that, and you happen to have a Biden-Harris sign, just pull over, bloop, drop that one in there. Don't take the Trump sign because you can't, but you're not supposed to. But do plop down a Biden-Harris sign next to it. Claudia, what you got?
On dropping the ballots in the drop box, is there a ruling about you taking someone else's to there? And I know how would it be proved, but I mean, is there something that you're not supposed to drop for other people?
Yes. So it could be proven by camera evidence. If it would be difficult to narrow down that you were the one who dropped it off, but if everybody comes by and drops off one, and then you come by and you drop off like 3 or something like that, they could, in theory, go back and go, hey, you dropped off this person's ballot because we received these on the same day, and all that you could deduce.
Okay.
But you can, if you can drop off a ballot for you and members of your household. So
But that's
you
it.
drop off Alton's, that's no problem. But you cannot drop off Elsa's unless Elsa suddenly moves in and somehow gets her registration changed and everything else. Yeah, if you are
You can drop off your mom's ballot, Heather. It's immediate family. There's a whole list. I'll find the list and I'll post it and see if I can find it.
Yeah, the list is a little bit more expansive. The general guideline is if you don't live in the same house as the person or you are not their physical caretaker, don't drop it off without.
Or immediate family, like mothers and brother-in-law. I think it was like mother, brother-in-law, sister-in-law. That sort of immediate family, somewhat immediate family.
Yeah. And the list I think is on the county registrar's webpage.
It's also in the voting. It's also in the ballot instructions.
Okay, there we go. So it's on the ballot instructions too. But yeah, follow that. Just be be careful. And like I said, anything. I'm happy to say yes if they live in your house, drop it off. Beyond that, look at the actual rules before you take what I say, because my training has taught me to keep it at the 19-year-old who just enlisted level, which is a pretty small window of what I'm going to allow you to do, because otherwise they do crazy things. All right. What other questions do we have about getting out the vote? Anything? I'm not seeing anything. If you have further questions, email them to me. Get in touch with Cindy. If you don't have Cindy's contact information, you can get it from her now, or you can email me and I'll get you in touch with Cindy on doing that. And then, like I said, once we get yard signs, tell your friends, bring them by. If you want to go and distribute them, I will give you a box and a box. If I remember right, they usually, the yard signs themselves, it's like hot dogs. The yard signs come in a box of 20 and the steaks come in a box of 25 or something like that. So it's the hot dog problem for distribution. But we'll make sure that you have the right number of yard steaks, the right number of yard signs, and go with that. And if you have neighbors who are interested, or are Democrats or whatever, honestly, for yard signs, they're effective if they're in the yard of someone who is unsure. It can turn their vote because they'll see that sign every day, and it just starts mentally getting them used to the idea of that person being elected. Or it works if you have a high-vis area and you can just make a big old streak of Biden yard signs. That's the kind of like, oh, there's a lot of people here doing this kind of thing that you want. So you either want them concentrated, in an area across multiple individual yards, or you want them in the yard of someone who is unsure of how to vote, ideally. Having said that, of course, please put one in your yard, put one in your neighbor's yards that can allow them, and we'll vote for them. Or if you have friends, like I said, just come by and tell me how many you need. Pick them up as soon as we get them. We'll just start distributing and going from there. All right, what other questions? Anything else? If there's nothing else, somebody make a motion to adjourn and we can do that.
Move to adjourn.
Ms. Carrion has
Second.
moved to adjourn. Is there a second? Ms. Williamson has seconded. All in favor of adjournment until the election, signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed, signify by saying nay. In the judgment of the chair, the ayes have it. Thank you so much for everything you have done. Thank you all for working hard and getting out the vote and trying to elect Joe Biden. Like I said, I'll leave this open for a couple minutes if you need to talk to anybody. Thank you. Have a great day. Let's go win this election.